What is blockchain technology? Blockchain technology, first and foremost, is an opportunity of a lifetime. So blockchain technology is a revolutionary technology planted on planet Earth by extremely smart people that prove something that human beings have tried to been proving for their lifetime. Who created blockchain technology? Someone by the name of Satoshi Nakamoto. We have no idea who Satoshi Nakamoto is as a humankind. And if you read the Bitcoin articles and you start to recognize what Bitcoin is blockchain technology. It upgrades the aspect of technology. So a company that forms an application, or any kind of thing you can think of, a restaurant that has a POS system, the transaction of monies, blockchain really helps out because it's focused on finance. Bitcoin, right? It focuses itself on in the finance world, but it has so many other abilities that are beneficial to the human world. Anything that involves keeping track of data, that is what blockchain is. It helps us keep track of data, and it also allows us to not manipulate that. So that's really tough because we love to manipulate things in the world. There's so much fake stuff out there. There's so much hacking. There's so much crap that happens and interrupts a company's flow, whether it's some rogue board member or some rogue CEO or some crazy hacker of another country. Scams are all over our world right now. And if you're developing a business in the future, you're going to want to develop it with blockchain because of that security. Without getting into the crazy intricacies of the code and the technical aspect of it, it is a technology that creates blocks in its transaction. These blocks sync together and create a chain of blocks where it makes an adversary, somebody who's trying to hack a transaction, it makes the work for that person next to impossible. In fact, to here on this date, Bitcoin just celebrated its 14th year anniversary, and it has yet to be overtaken by the world that's trying to overtake it. It's unhackable. It provides a ledger also. So it provides a string of content that is never going to be erased. So it's a write-only technology. You can only write in it, you cannot erase. It is also kind of, I heard a guy talk about the other day, a ledger in the sky, right? A database in the sky that is there for all types of reasons. If you are a business that keeps a ledger, which is all businesses, I mean, accounting, right? At the end of the year, we do our taxes, we do our accounting. We need to retrieve all of the history of our transactions, our expenditures, the money we make, the money we spend. Now, if you're a big company, if you're a massive company, think about all the transactions that are going on. Think about the inputs and the outputs, the expenses, the assets you acquired as a company. All of this is collected in a database that has a lot of importance, and it has a lot of vulnerability. The vulnerability of this data can be breached. Somebody who like runs or owns the company can sort of manipulate and change that stuff and not report certain things to the IRS and vice versa. So blockchain technology solves a lot of this stuff. And when you start to wrap your mind around the use case of what this will do to businesses, to enterprises, it's my belief that every company in the future is going to run on a blockchain. They are going to upgrade themselves to the more efficient use of blockchain technology. And I want to be investing in projects that are going to sync up with these companies that will use blockchain technology to upgrade their businesses. You're seeing it happen all the time. Companies like Dish Network, MasterCard, Tesla, real estate companies, telecommunication companies, hospitals, the list goes on and on and on. Every single company that exists in the future is going to exist with blockchain technology in some form or another, in my personal view. And I want to be here right now in this opportunity to take advantage of investing in this disruptive space. So the way that I look at blockchain is that it's an investment opportunity of a lifetime. Just like businesses in the early 90s upgraded in some form or another to the internet, it is my belief that companies will upgrade to blockchain technology. Right? Even the businesses that were like against it, they were like, no, I'm not going to do blockchain. Like an auto mechanic store or like something like this. They still, if you look at every single business right now, they all have a website, basically. They all have some sort of POS system. They're interacting with a computer in some form or another. And that is what changed the world. Now, if you have invested in a lot of these technologies, these companies that were formed back then, I mean, hindsight's always 20/20, but here we are in the right now where we could get clear so that when the future does come and blockchain technology becomes more integrated, which it already is, it's being integrated everywhere you look. If you're doing the looking, you'll find that. You'll find that to be the case. So do your own looking. Check this stuff out. Blockchain technology is not going anywhere. Bitcoin and blockchain has proved a distributed network. That's another aspect to what blockchain is. Why? Because there's incentive to create lots of different network solutions or servers. We call them nodes. Bitcoin they have these mining machines, which acts as a server that validates whether or not these transactions that are coming and going are valid or not. That's a whole other deep dive you can go down. See, Bitcoin doesn't need security. It doesn't need a cybersecurity add-on attachment to the way the technology runs, the way the network runs. It has security built in its infancy because of the way that these blocks are created and distributed across a wide array of networks due to decentralization. So it's not like one person owns Bitcoin or one firm owns Bitcoin. Like one firm owns Facebook or Instagram. One firm owns them. They have all of their data on their servers, and their servers are probably at like a few different places, probably like no more than 3 places in the world. And at these 3 places, you could imagine whole floors of a building filled up with servers where all of their stuff is there. What happens if something happens to that building? What happens if all those servers go down? Or what happens if somebody wants to manipulate the servers or erase things in the servers or create backdoors and sell information of yours, right? We see this happening all the time. So there are thousands of these servers, Bitcoin mining machines, that exist all over the planet by independent people who are managing those servers. So the person who's managing the server how can that person game the entire system? He would have to get approval from like 51% of all the Bitcoin miners that exist to take advantage of the protocol so that like this hacking and scamming could exist. It's basically impossible. You would need trillions of dollars in like ungodly amount of understanding. It's impossible, and believe me, they're trying all the time. And every day that gets further, every day that the blockchain continues, it gets stronger and stronger and stronger because the whole blockchain gets bigger and bigger and bigger and harder and harder and harder to manipulate, to compromise. So what Bitcoin proved with blockchain technology opened up the world of the minds of all of these brilliant coders and developers and mathematicians and computer scientists, the best of the best students, are understanding how this cryptography is going to change our world, and they're building their own blockchains. They're building their own networks quietly, behind the scenes, with a tremendous thought, with scientific peer-reviewed proof work that takes time and effort and will someday come to the horizon as you and I will come to know these companies. So right now is the time to invest and get started in your understanding of this opportunity. You don't need to really understand what blockchain is, and I'm not going to let myself completely understand it like I'm a coder or a developer, because I'm not that. I'm someone that wants to take advantage of an opportunity. I'm someone that wants to invest in emerging technologies. I'm someone that wants to invest in something disruptive. Look at Uber, for example. I love looking at Uber. Uber is an extremely disruptive technology, or concept, phenomenon you can call it. Not necessarily a technology, but a concept. What did Uber do? Uber came in and disrupted the whole way we do taxi driving, right? Taxis. Now you can do it in this different way, and Uber has swept the nation. And the thing about Uber is it didn't really ask for approval. It didn't go to the city hall and say, hey, town hall, I have an idea of allowing people to do this new way of taxis. Do you guys approve it? No, it didn't do that. It just started, it began, it proved the concept because human beings liked it. And now it inverted the whole process of going to town hall and asking for approval. If human beings like it enough, what can anybody say? That's kind of what you're seeing here too. Blockchain technology, Satoshi Nakamoto, right? This infamous, famously anonymous person started something, this Bitcoin blockchain revolution, okay? It's disruptive. You thought Uber was disruptive? This is disruptive. Blockchain technology makes Uber look like a nothing burger as far as disruption, okay? And you want to invest in disruptive technologies. It's taken off and human beings like it, and every day more and more people are getting into it. Every single day. You can look at the on-chain data. You can look at these things for yourself. Okay, the mascot for Bitcoin, go ahead and check this out, is the Honeybadger. The Honeybadger that's constantly, what is he honeybadgering? Money. He's siphoning in all the world's money. All the world's money can pour into Bitcoin. The more and more money that goes into Bitcoin, the more strength the protocol has. And now you have all these other blockchain firms that are taking the technology of Bitcoin because it's open source. It's another aspect of blockchain technology. It's like the end of all this proprietary stuff. It's all this if you take anything that I'm doing over here, I'm going to sue you because it's proprietary. It's not proprietary. Everything's open source. Go ahead and take the blockchain. Use it for however you want to. And you see hard forks of Bitcoin Cash. You see Bitcoin SV, which is Bitcoin Satoshi Vision. So if you look down CoinMarketCap and you'll find Bitcoin, other forms of Bitcoin itself. They call it Bitcoin. Satoshi Vision, BSV. Bitcoin Cash. There's another one. You see Ethereum, the Ethereum Classic is a hard fork of Ethereum. And many other, there are thousands and thousands, probably 20,000 blockchains working. And I'm telling you, there are massive ones in that list. Down at number 374, down at number 10,002, that will be winners in this space. And as hard as you think it is to find them, it's really not, because there's a lot of standards that go into creating a blockchain protocol. A lot of standards. And when you get into these standards and you get into what the blockchain is doing, this UTXO model, this unspent transaction output theory, you can see which ones are doing it with the appropriate methods. And then you can decide for yourself. But if you are missing this opportunity entirely, that's why I'm creating these videos. I'm creating these videos because there is an opportunity to at least start to look and understand that there might be something for you to learn. Okay, and that's what it was for me. I remember sitting, this was 2012, at a Saxby's. I'm sitting in a Saxby's doing work, trying to figure out what I'm doing with my life, which was really cool things, okay? And I'm sitting outside of Penn's campus. And I'm in a Saxby's, University of Penn. I'm out from outside of Philadelphia here. And I'm looking at these videos, and boom, a Bitcoin video popped up in my ad on YouTube. And it was a Bitcoin video about the mining, about what the mining was. And this is the first time I ever heard of Bitcoin. I didn't know what it was, but it was all about this opportunity. It's like the first time I didn't click like the skip button. I let the whole ad, it was like a 15-minute video. I just like watched it there, and I became intrigued. It talked about digital money. It talked about digital gold. It talked about this massive opportunity. I think Bitcoin at that time was around $100 a coin. I thought that was expensive. The mining part kind of threw me off. I was like, what is this? And there was these little miners, and there's like a computer, and I'm like, I just don't know. I don't understand. So I didn't take the advantage of that opportunity then. It wasn't until 2017, 5 years later, okay, Bitcoin is at a whole different price, now $20,000 a coin, to where I was reintroduced to the opportunity. Okay, it was just like this weird circumstance where I went to an event and there was a lot of blockchain people there, and they started to talk to me about what Bitcoin was, what blockchain is, that it is Bitcoin, that it's a technology that Bitcoin proved. Bitcoin proved a new technology in the world, and it's called blockchain. And I was like, okay, I took out my phone, I go on an app, I spend $100, and now I have 0.00 something of a Bitcoin. Whoop-de-doo. That led me down a path of doing this research, understanding more. What is this? What does it mean? What is it? And you could do the same thing. And because of that thought process of recognizing that there was an opportunity, I began a process of cost average investing, tiny bits of money here and there that I was making with my hard-earned effort, tiny bits of money that did not affect the business that I was running, that didn't affect my livelihood. I'm raising a family. That didn't affect it and put me out of commission, but allowed me to cost average and what they call accumulate some Bitcoins, okay? Fractions of a Bitcoin. It's a big thing if you get a whole Bitcoin. But I started to understand that, and it's not only Bitcoin, that a lot of these other people, these smart mathematicians, that took advantage of this opportunity and spun up their own blockchains that were cheaper than Bitcoin. And I'm telling you right now, every day there are more and more blockchains forming. Right now as I speak, there are ones that are forming that I have no idea about. Because with a blockchain project, where you're transacting and you're sending financial, digital assets, kind of like what we do with credit cards, like we swipe our credit card and there's a transaction that happens. You're not giving any cash, but bits and pieces of your bank account move this way and that way, don't they? I mean, to the exact pennies, right? You go to the store, it's like $14.87. You swipe the card, $14.87 goes to your bank, plus a fee, right? Well, this is a little different. Okay, if this needs to happen, then wallets need to be created. Okay, exchanges need to figure out how to host these blockchains. New exchanges are being created. New exchanges, wallets need to be created because every blockchain needs to have a wallet solution for their blockchain that they need to then give to the exchange so the exchange can exchange with that blockchain, right? It gets technical, it gets wild. It's like, what are we talking about here? I promise you that you will begin to understand this stuff the more you take a moment of your time. I used to go on little rides in the morning. Okay, the busiest day I had. We worked 7 days a week. We never had off. Our business was even open on Christmas Day. Okay, every day we were working and doing stuff, so I could say that I didn't have any time. I used to, on the way to work, drive my car and listen to stuff. And that was how I learned. little by little by little. And I would cost average. That's how I accumulated, little by little by little. In the midst of working something that was completely different, opposite than blockchain. I mean, you're looking at a guy who never, ever had an investment in his life. I owned no stocks. Not one stock have I ever owned. I wasn't a part of a 401k, never was. I never had a stock. I got close to like investing in a mutual fund because I heard that was cool, but not one. 0 mutual funds, 0 ETFs, 0 stocks, 0 bonds, nothing. You're looking at a guy that my portfolio existed with trying to build a business. Not stocks, not bonds, not investments. So my curiosity to investing led me to this opportunity. And I get it, there's a lot out there. There's a lot of fear, there's a lot of anxiety. You could lose your money, and this FTX debacle just happened. Go ahead and research FTX. It's an exchange that went completely bust, one of the biggest rug pulls of all time. Okay, but if you're doing this right, if you're doing your job right, if you're looking at things the way you're supposed to be looking at them, and not from a place of greed, how are you supposed to look at them? Not from a place of greed, not from a place of gambling, not from a place of saying, I'm gonna get rich quick. If you're looking at this from a place of like, what's this gonna do to the world? What projects are affecting the world in a great way? What projects are affecting the world in a negative way? You're gonna come to projects that are fantastic and more secure and safer than a lot of this hoopla that you'll see. So you won't be burned on rug pulls like FTX. You won't be scammed by these people asking for your public address and your private keys. You won't be scammed because you're gonna do the work. That's what Cryptofluency is all about, educating you. So not only that you know the opportunity, but how can you begin? How can you begin to invest? How can you start from a place of like not knowing anything about it? Or how can you start from a place of being tainted by it if you've even lost money before, or you're investing in the wrong stuff? How can you come at it from a place of understanding and safety, with caution being our number one motive, right? If I'm gonna hike, which I did, the Grand Canyon, I'm gonna be cautious around these curves, right? There's a little bit of fear there, but I'm not gonna fear it so much not to do it because it can be done. But if I'm like lollygagging and not taking it serious, then I might fall to a demise. That's exactly how this is. Take any situation you want to see, climbing a mountain or swimming in some ocean. If you're not careful, you could get in trouble. So why is it any different when we talk about our money? Right? Like, there was a guy that was speaking about a project that I'm investing in, and I'm listening to him because I'm doing my due diligence to examine the people who are a part of the team of a project I'm investing in. That's another good point that you should do. If you're investing in it, then like scrutinize the team. Scrutinize the team before you invest in it. And he said everybody's trying to make blockchains. All these people are trying to make wallets. And if they're building it in a place of like average average technology, it's kind of like, imagine if they took that same approach to like brain surgery. Basically was the overall comment. You're like, wow, would you want to be would you want to go into a hospital where the doctor's kind of like not that careful about how he's doing his brain surgery? It's the same thing with these blockchain companies. I want to be investing in companies that take it serious, right? I want to take those approaches. Approach with caution. Take serious what this is, because when it is like life or death. I mean, your livelihood is your livelihood. It's livelihood. And we're not in the business of wanting to squander our livelihood. Far from it. We want to grow our life. We want to grow and find more abundance, more fruit in our lives. So by taking this serious, by understanding this opportunity, by checking out the wide ranges of how you can participate, you're going to find for yourself a tremendous amount of information. Okay, so Cryptofluency here is here to help you, guide you a little bit. It's here to help you understand. what these opportunities are, hear a little bit more about my story, who started out investing in Bitcoin, was diversified in 20 or 30 different projects with all different kind of blockchains. I struggled with how to be secure and safe with all this. There's lots of things that you can't do if you live in the United States. There's lots of things you can't do if you live over in this country or that country. And you have to be aware. You have to understand. Taxes are a big part of the whole thing. You have to be aware. Cryptofluency is here to help you. Okay, we put out these videos. We have a few courses online. And the biggest thing we do are events. So you can come to this event, you could see us and ask us questions, and we'll do our best to be in front of you and answer these questions that you might have, okay? Because it's a little difficult. I needed to ask questions. I needed more understanding than what was given to me. And that impersonal stuff, the interpersonal relation that's sort of lost with COVID, I want to bring back. I want to bring back face-to-face interaction so we can see what this is together. All right, so get excited. Get excited about the future of your life. Get excited about the right now of your life, because there's so much going on. There's so much opportunity for you to take advantage of and grab a hold of right now. And it's knowledge. It's knowledge. It begins with knowledge and understanding that gives you more wisdom. At the end of the day, maybe, God willing, our bank accounts will rise, but we'll have more meaning in our lives. That's what blockchain is doing. It's helping the world have a little bit more meaning. All right, so I hope to see you on the website, cryptofluency.com, and let's make tons of meaning together.